friends, Z.C. Maltbia here, Senior Pastor of the True Holiness Saint Center in the beautiful city of Conway, Arkansas. And you know what time it is. It is Wednesday Word time. So what is our Wednesday Word for today? Our Wednesday Word is accountability. More specifically, we're talking about the necessity of personal accountability. So the question can be asked is, what is personal accountability? Personal accountability can be defined like this: taking ownership of your attitude, actions, and outcomes. Taking ownership of your attitude, your actions, and your outcomes. Godly people always take personal accountability for the things they influence and the things they ultimately control. And when you as an individual practice personal accountability as a daily lifestyle, you're much more likely to gain the trust and the respect of those around you. I want to share with you 3 steps to aid you in taking personal accountability for your life. So if we're going to take personal accountability for our life, point number 1 is this: understanding your role. The journey to personal accountability always begins with clearly defined expectations, understanding your role. You want to know what you're responsible for, but you also want to know what's under other people's control. You want to know what people expect out of you, and you want them to know what you expect out of them. The first step to personal accountability is understanding your role. In fact, understanding your role can really be liberating in your life. Why do you say it's liberating, Pastor Maltbia? Because it helps you to eliminate unnecessary distractions in your life. Knowing your expectations, knowing what you're responsible for, helps you to stay focused, helps you to keep the main thing the main thing. It helps you to keep the attention on the right things and dismissing the wrong things. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about. Hosea 4:6 says this: my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And if you're going to be successful in every facet of your life, knowledge is key. You've got to clearly define your role in the home. You've got to clearly define your role at work. You've got to clearly define even your role in the classroom. If you don't understand your role, you can't take responsibility appropriately. So yes, we need to understand the role in the home. We need to understand the role on our job. We need to understand the role in the classroom, but we also need to understand our role in society and even in the local church. The first step in taking personal accountability is understanding our role, to know what we're responsible for. But then secondly today, the second step is simply being honest. That's so important. You've got to be honest with yourself. You've got to be honest with others. And you certainly have to be honest with our God. Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, said it like this in Proverbs 11:3. Solomon says, the integrity of the upright guides them, but he who is unfaithful are destroyed because of their duplicity. Their duplicity. Here's what I'm really saying to you. Personal accountability stands on the bedrock of our actions and our speech lining up. People with a personal accountability, they don't say one thing and then do another thing. See, nobody wants to interact with a dishonest person. Nobody wants to associate with a person that says one thing and does another. Personal accountability, the bedrock is being honest. Honest with yourself, honest with others, and certainly honest with our God. Personal accountability is all about saying what we mean and meaning what we say. So here's the question today. Will the people around you say they can trust your word? Will the people around you say that they can truly trust you to do exactly what you say you're going to do? But being honest also means asking for help when you need it. No one should suffer in silence. No one should go through unnecessary burdens and stress. If you need help, ask somebody. And listen to me. Hear this word. In fact, maybe this is something you need to type in the comment section right now. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to go through trials and tribulations and sometimes to be stressed out and burned out. But when you need help, admit it. Talk to somebody. Not only is honesty about asking for help, but honesty is all about admitting when you're wrong. When you make a mistake, own it. Acknowledge your mistakes. Fix what you messed up and simply adjust for the better and move on. We're talking about personal accountability. Yes, the first step of personal accountability is understanding your role, knowing what's expected of you and what's expected of others. Secondly, it's being honest, saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And here's the final thing, and I'm just about through with this Wednesday word. Refusing to overcommit. A key component to personal accountability is refusing to overcommit. Always remember, dear hearts, you are a limited resource, which simply means you cannot be everything to everybody all the time. Putting too much on your plate at any given time is a disaster waiting to happen. See, when you put too much on your plate, it makes you forget about important dates and deadlines. When you put too much on your plate, it causes you to overlook mistakes. It causes you to have unnecessary stress in your life. Don't put more on you than you can handle. I love Moses' prayer in Psalms 90 and verse 12. Here's what Moses prays to the Lord. He says, teach us to number our days that we might apply our hearts to wisdom. More specifically, Moses begins to pray about time management. Moses prays that God would teach us how to use our time and energy wisely. Because Moses understood that refusing to overcommit was the way to success. Always remember, dear hearts, as you're talking about personal accountability, always remember, dear hearts, when you're talking about the secret sauce to success, always remember that this journey is a marathon, not a sprint, which means you've got to learn to pace yourself and refuse to overcommit. Our Wednesday word today is accountability. More specifically, the necessity of personal accountability. It's about taking ownership of our attitude, our actions, and our outcomes. It's about being responsible for the things that we influence and the things we control. And it begins with understanding our role. It continues with being honest. And it ends with refusing to overcommit. Until we speak again, my friends, be blessed.